Welcome back to Trading Hour on CNBC-TV18. And now let's bring on board Anirudh Garg, partner and head of research at Invasset PMS, joining in with us to discuss market fundamentals and his top sectoral picks. Anirudh, thank you so much for joining in with us on the show. Let's start by talking about FIIs coming back, right? That positive sign coming in is something surely interesting, and I think that that is what is interesting the markets as well. But do you think that they're coming back with a bang, or maybe this is just one of those cases where you see one day of positives and again back to declines? And overall, in terms of your market momentum, you're expecting from here on?
Very good morning. Thank you for having me. See, I look at it from a very different point of perspective. I don't look FIIs or DIs. I look at it from a valuation matrix point of view. What had happened in the Indian markets in the past few months, especially post, I would say, August, the risk-reward ratio, because of the valuations and the exuberance, was not in the favor of the Indian markets. And FIIs, if you note, have been a seller for a very, very long period of time. But now our Indian retail is supporting. If we talk about the last 2 months, what has happened? Firstly, the valuations have corrected. We have seen broader indices come down 20%, 25%, the Nifty coming down around 16, 17%. So this is generally what the trend of this run is. If you note something what happened in June, so starting from October 21 to June of 22, the Nifty corrected 18%, the mid cap, small cap around 25%. So this is how this bull run is. And I think the valuations are now turned in our favor. Apart from that, I also believe that the confusion with Donald Trump coming in and this this duty mess, this has created a lot of confusion in the market. And all this confusion generally leads to, the beginning of major bull runs. So I believe that we are on a cusp of a breakout or a major bull run. And the next couple of years from here should be very, very good. And if the bull run will be there, the FIIs have to come. India, the only negative point for FIIs, I feel that we should not have had the capital gains tax that we have now imposed for the FIIs, because they are fighting the dollar, they're fighting inflation, and then you have the, the capital gains tax for them as well, which they're not charged anywhere in the world. So that is one negative thing for the FIIs point of view. The rest, we believe that next couple of years, from what is happening in the US markets, if the interest rates come down, the developing markets will have a very good surge of inflow from, Western markets.
Understood that. Anirudh, a lot of the factors that you mentioned are now slowly but gradually, turning favorable in terms of how exactly you're looking at it from the Indian point of view. Going forward, do you feel valuations are now attractive, especially as far as the mid-cap and small-cap space is concerned? Do you think earnings have bottomed out? And incrementally, where would you recommend deploying capital?
So see, if I talk about the mid-cap and small caps, they are comparatively expensive from what their long-term averages have been. But short-term anomalies can do happen. We have seen it from time to time in 2006, maybe post that in 2016. So all these anomalies do happen, but we have to keep in mind that the mid-cap and small caps are expensive. So like the last 2 years have been, it will not, I believe it will not be a run which will, everything will not run in this run. You will have to find your relative changes. What will be the factors that will, that will lead the next bull run? And I believe that we will have much more large cap participation in this run than the mid cap alone. Last 2 years, the defensives have not been a very great sector. The banks, the financials have not been a very great sector. I believe the sectors which have not led the last 2 runs will be at the forefront this time.
Okay, so you're saying defensives and banks is what you're looking at, right, in terms of sectors, and anything specific in terms of that? What are you looking at, larger side of the end or the mid-cap side would you look at in these specific sectors?
No, so we are looking in terms of financials, we are looking, of course, at the larger side. We do not like to bet on the smaller banks or, the smaller financials when you're getting the bigger ones at a better price and better scope of growth and better earnings visibility. So see what has happened in India, the 1 lakh crore that the government has put in the hands of the consumer. You have to look at that relative change. And because markets, have got very, very, I would say, they limit their scope too much in these days, unlike the other markets that we have seen. Now, you have to spot those relative changes that are happening. For example, as I told you, the tax rebate that has been given, the things that are happening in China with the US Biosecure Act, what is happening in Bangladesh post, you know, the problems in Bangladesh in the textile industry. So all these are giving much bigger advantages to India, and all the leaders in these particular sectors for the next couple of years should do well.
Thank you so much for joining us, giving us a sense of the markets and how do you see markets as well as earnings pan out from here on. Well, moving on, we'll now slip into a short break. But while we slip into the break, here's some good news for our viewers. India's business news leader is now just a click away, introducing CNBC-TV18's all-new app. Get instant access to breaking news, in-depth articles, and financial world updates at your fingertips. Download the CNBC-TV18 app now from the Apple Store or Google Play Store, or just scan the QR code on your screen.